Welcome. In this video, the collaboration event, the Ninja Scrolls Azur Flash and the Ninja Scrolls at Your Leisure of Azur Lane and Senran Kagura will be summarized. Throughout the video, there will be spoilers for the story of Azur Lane. If you don't want to be spoiled, please go and play the game. In an unknown, silent place, Fubuki wakes up in Observer's secret room. Observer, mysterious and flirtatious, reveals little about themselves. Fubuki, weary but composed, questions her surroundings and Observer's motives. Observer suggests cooperation for research, promising her release when satisfied. Fubuki contemplates the situation, wondering about her friends' safety. Observer hints at the significance of Fubuki's elevated heart rate. The scene shifts to the past, describing shinobis from the Warring States era who, despite fading into legend, continue to exist. The battle in a distant land begins to unfold. Elsewhere, at sea on a calm night, Akatsuki patrols, yearning for excitement. Spotting a twinkle in the sky, she wishes upon that falling star, only to realize it's approaching her. The star crashes nearby, revealing a group of passed-out people. Asuka, Homura, and Fubuki emerge, introducing themselves as shinobis. Akatsuki, also a shinobi, joins them. The group discusses their origins, and Akatsuki reveals her affiliation with the Sakura Empire. As they exchange details, Observer appears. Later, at Outset Island in the Mirror Sea, Homura and Asuka argue about Fubuki's kidnapping, with Asuka insisting on an immediate rescue mission and Homura advocating for gathering more information first. Akatsuki attempts to mediate, but the argument escalates. Ikaruga appears and intervenes, scolding them for neglecting their responsibility as role models and causing Akatsuki distress. Ikaruga reminds everyone they're adults. Ikaruga then apologizes for jumping to conclusions and introduces herself. She expresses surprise at finding herself in this world and suggests assessing the situation. Asuka explains Fubuki's kidnapping, prompting Ikaruga to question how they can navigate the water without a boat or an airplane. Akatsuki mentions riggings, explaining their significance and expressing suspicion. Homura suggests using riggings to find Fubuki, and Akatsuki agrees, emphasizing the need to act quickly. Ikaruga proposes joining a search party to locate Fubuki faster and asks Akatsuki to demonstrate how to equip riggings. Elsewhere on a different island, a group of girls from the Gessen Girls Academy is attacked by a fleet of stray sirens. Yumi, Murasaki, and Yuyaki struggle in the battle until Reno, Lutzo, Elbing, and Bremerton arrive to fight the new type of siren fleet. After the battle, the newcomers question the girls about their weapons and identity. Yumi reveals that they are shinobis from Gessen Girls' Academy, surprising the newcomers. The conversation turns to ninja abilities, cultural exchanges, and the girls express gratitude for the assistance. Back with Asuka's group, Asuka explains the life of a shinobi to Akatsuki, sharing stories of their missions. Meanwhile, Ikaruga and Homura attempt to navigate the sea in search of Fubuki's light. They discuss the possibility of encountering other students and express concern for Yumi. Asuka demonstrates basic capture ninjutsu on Akatsuki, accidentally causing her pain. Further out, Kashino spots Akatsuki being tied up and rushes to her aid, fearing for her safety. In the midst of an attack by the sirens, Akatsuki's group is caught in a pincer attack. As they struggle, Kashino, initially mistaken as an enemy, approaches. Friendly fire ensues, and Akatsuki pleads for ceasefire. Implacable intervenes, explaining that Akatsuki acted against protocol. Implacable proposes collaboration to solve the siren threat. Ikaruga questions the sincerity of the offer, but Implacable emphasizes the shared goal of rescuing Fubuki. Despite suspicions, the group agrees to cooperate, with Homura doubting that Implacable is even a nun due to how she dresses. Back with Yumi's group, Reno and Bremerton explain its creation and the appearance of people from other worlds with unique powers. Yumi and her group express trust in Reno and Bremerton to help find their missing friend, Fubuki. Yumi reveals her ability to sense Fubuki's presence. Bremerton mentions their mission to find a lost comrade. Lutso gives Yumi and the others their own personal riggings for transportation and battles. The girls, though unfamiliar, are determined to learn and use them. The shinobis quickly grasp the basics of their riggings, and the group decides to regroup with Kashino's team. Yuyaki asks Yumi if she can sense Fubuki's location, and Yumi indicates a suspicious place where Fubuki's presence is emanating from. Despite the uneasy feeling, the group follow Rino's lead towards the destination. Still captive, Fubuki reflects on her situation, guarded by Observer, who subtly taunts her. Observer hints at Fubuki's friends' efforts and the exploitation of Fubuki's powers to traverse worlds. Despite Observer's manipulation, Fubuki resolves to escape when the right moment arises, realizing the significance of her powers. Observer, pleased with the manipulation, anticipates further experiments with Fubuki's abilities. Outside of the castle, Implacable detects approaching fleets, including Ironblood, Eagle Union, and unfamiliar rigging users. Kashino explains the concept of Siren-created pawns, clones of shipgirls, to the shinobi. As the groups converge, caution is advised, given the potential presence of pawns. Asuka encounters Yumi and shares their teleportation experience. Yumi senses Fubuki's presence and learns about the blinding light incident. Despite the warning about pawns, Asuka is not weary, and the reunion continues, including Akatsuki expressing shame over her situation. Akatsuki explains to the other shipgirls that she discovered the three shinobi after investigating the meteor impact site. Bremerton notes the absence of a falling star report, suspecting Akatsuki entered the Mirror Sea early. Implacable suggests the Sirens created the Mirror Sea to transport them, questioning why Akatsuki specifically. Asuka and Yumi consider Fubuki's potential magic connection, explaining her significance. The group concludes that rescuing Fubuki is crucial to resolving the situation and decides to breach the castle to find her. Yumi senses Fubuki's presence within the castle. The group easily breaches the gates of Akashi Castle in the Mirror Sea. They express surprise at the castle's unconventional design. Yumi senses Fubuki's presence, and an explosion is heard from the keep. The team speculates that Fubuki may be resisting the sirens. They find 3 doors with a sign indicating 3 trials to open the path forward, prompting them to embark on an unexpected quest. The team faces the 3 trial doors in the Mirror Sea, contemplating the challenges ahead. Lutso suggests a direct approach, but Ikaruga points out the need to complete all trials to progress. The group decides to split into 3 teams to tackle each door simultaneously. Ikaruga highlights the likelihood of traps and siren-made pawns behind the doors. The team members, unfamiliar with siren tactics, propose having the others accompany their groups for better coordination. The decision is made to split evenly among the teams. The first team, consisting of Ikaruga, Homura, Akatsuki, and Rino, prepare to face the challenges behind the first door in the Mirror Sea. Ikaruga acknowledges the team's limited rigging proficiency and expresses reliance on Akatsuki and Rino in combat. Akatsuki appreciates their unique strengths and suggests leveraging them in battles. The team enters the door, and during the subsequent battle, Rino expresses curiosity about shinobi techniques and ninjutsu. Homura shares insights into their specialized ninjutsu, including elemental manipulations like fire and ice. Rino expresses envy and a desire to learn shinobi techniques, prompting Akatsuki to also express her own interest. The team discusses the possibilities and potential collaboration on shinobi techniques after their current mission. The focus remains on rescuing Fubuki and overcoming the 2 challenges left. The second team, consisting of Bremerton, Murasaki, Yuyaki, Elbing, and Lutso, is formed to face the challenges behind the second door in the Mirror Sea. Bremerton acknowledges potential complaints, but asserts that the team composition won't change. Murasaki expresses a desire to be at home and study, while Yuyaki is eager to engage in battle. The team enters the door, and during the ensuing battle, Elbing and Murasaki discuss their preferences for indoor activities and potential strategies, including the use of ninjutsu for concealment. Elbing mentions submarine shipgirls and their advice on staying still underwater to avoid making noise, to which Murasaki expresses disappointment about the limitation for surface ship girls. Bremerton remarks on the girls' discussion about avoiding work, telling them that they should focus on completing the trials and rescuing Fubuki. The third team, composed of Asuka, Yumi, Implacable, and Kashino, prepare to face the challenges of the third and final door in the Mirror Sea. Implacable and Yumi express confidence in Asuka's ability to lead and inspire others. Asuka is initially hesitant about being leader, but is encouraged by the trust they placed in her. The team enters the door, and during the ensuing battle, Asuka reflects on the unusual desire for a shower while surrounded by water. Kashino shares her love for baths and expresses a desire to treat Asuka to milk after the mission. Implacable reminds them to focus on the battle and to focus on rescuing Fubuki. Within the third door, Asuka, Implacable, and Yumi sense an unsettling feeling of being watched. Asuka explains her ability to sense the presence of others, honed through her ninja training. Implacable's radar doesn't detect anything unusual, leading them to consider the possibility of an extraordinary sense or superpower at play. As they discuss the differences between ninja instincts and radar technology, Asuka speculates that someone might be observing them to incorporate their shinobi senses into a new kind of radar. Implacable acknowledges the Sirens' advanced methods and expresses concern about the potential creation of an organic radar with extrasensory perception. The conversation delves into the nuances of tracking and hiding techniques across different worlds. At the entrance of the keep, Asuka and Homura banter about their arrival times. Ikaruga expresses relief at Asuka's presence and inquires about Murasaki's team. Murasaki points out that they've been waiting for a while. Yumi senses Fubuki's presence beyond the keep, and Asuka observes rising smoke, indicating an incident inside the keep. With no time to waste, they decide to rush inside once everyone is ready. Akatsuki confirms their team's readiness, and Asuka enthusiastically leads the charge. Inside the keep's final room, Akatsuki slams the door and remarks on the darkness, indicating it must be the last room. Asuka alerts Akatsuki to a presence, and Tester acknowledges their keen perception. Fubuki is revealed to be present but silent. Tester explains that Fubuki attacked violently when provoked, and now she's calm. Homura threatens Tester, but Tester dismisses it, referring to Homura as an emotionally charged specimen. Yumi questions Tester about her quote-unquote delightful plans, and Tester mentions the girl who linked with something, indicating Yumi. Tester reveals an experiment and a creation, inviting them to enjoy the upcoming battle. Following an explosive attack, Asuka complains about the cheapness of it, but Homura urges her to focus on fighting. Yuyaki manages to keep the adversary in check temporarily. Bremerton expresses frustration with the unpredictable attack pattern. Elbing notes the similarity to a ninja's strategy, and Bremerton describes it as battle ninja armor, combining ninja moves with Tester's shell, while Reno introduces a cattle trop gun. Homura praises Reno's adaptation of the clone shuriken technique and suggests the cattle trop launcher could be useful if scaled down. Bremerton reminds everyone to stay focused on the fight. After defeating Tester's creation, Tester acknowledges the results of the experiment, and Homura prepares to confront Tester. Tester, however, decides to leave, expressing enjoyment and promising to meet again. Later in the keep, the team finds Fubuki seemingly unharmed, but she suddenly attacks them without reason. Implacable checks her condition, concluding she's physically fine, but possibly acting out on instinct or some automatic response. The team speculates that the Sirens left Fubuki as a parting, hostile gift. After the battle, Yumi checks on Fubuki, who initially seems unresponsive. Eventually, Fubuki wakes up and apologizes for the trouble, mentioning that during the fight, she felt like an outsider and someone else entirely. She assures everyone that she's fine now and speaks with her own voice. As they prepare to leave, Observer appears, expressing gratitude for their quote-unquote assistance. Fubuki reacts with a gasp, but when questioned, she dismisses it as nothing. The team decides to leave quickly to avoid any further complications. The team, now freed from Akashi Castle and the Mirror Sea, speculates that the Mirror Sea might have disappeared upon freeing Fubuki. They plan to return to the port, and Kashino suggests bringing an investigation team while escorting the wounded. Implacable expresses a need for rest and reflects on the Sirens' interest on the shinobis. Fubuki apologizes for the trouble and promises a formal apology later. As they discuss a mysterious door resembling a world gateway, Bremerton suggests it's probably broken, and they invite Fubuki to stay at their port until it's fixed. Implacable extends an invitation for a tea party. The team prepares for some downtime. Asuka expresses envy for the sea and the experiences the ship girls have near the port. She discusses the joy of hearing waves, the ocean's smell, and proximity to water for swimming. Reno explains that, despite the sea's presence, it's often associated with missions and rigging exercises. The conversation shifts to swimsuits, and Akashi appears mysteriously, delivering Asuka's new swimsuit. Asuka excitedly contemplates battles in swimsuits, and Reno suggests organizing a mock battle. Other ship girls join in, showcasing their own swimsuits, and the group prepares for a quote-unquote cute battle to thank the commander for the swimsuits. In the gymnasium, shinobis undergo intense training, including illusions in combat practice. Ikaruga's strict teaching style draws comments from the trainees, and Homura pokes fun at her draconian approach. Meanwhile, outside the gym, Akatsuki expresses shyness about asking a genuine ninja for training. Bremerton intervenes, asking Homura for help in instructing Akatsuki. Homura initially resists, but eventually agrees to assist Akatsuki in her training. While training, Homura emphasizes the importance of judgment, reaction time, and the harsh path of a shinobi. Ikaruga comments on Homura's strict approach, and the training leaves Akatsuki overwhelmed. Homura decides on a mock battle, several trainees against one of the instructors, as a final part of the training. After the intense battle, Akatsuki is found out cold but is considered to have passed, and Homura is asked to help carry her to her dorm. Despite being asleep, Akatsuki continues to talk about ninja techniques in her dreams. In the break room, Baltimore asks Yumi about the Gessen Girls' Academy, curious about the life of ninjas in a school setting. Yumi explains that Gessen is a specialized school focused on training shinobis, resembling the daily training they undergo at port. Yuyaki mentions that the Toho Tengu Shinobi group is more of a hidden village in the mountains. Yumi notes that Hanzo National Academy, Asuka's school, appears normal and includes standard subjects, emphasizing the importance of shinobis blending into society. Fubuki mentions the variety of activities at their academy, including lectures, combat training, and tests, with the exception of a uniform. Baltimore reveals that ship girls don't have strict uniforms, and students can wear clothes resembling a uniform or their regular attire. Yumi and Yuyaki discuss the significance of shinobi attire as their true uniforms, acknowledging that sometimes they need to be replaced due to unavoidable circumstances. Baltimore mentions seasonal events in schools, prompting a discussion on competitions and trips. Yuyaki notes that their journeys with the commander aren't typical trips due to the long distances. Fubuki asks about sports days, and Yumi explains their school's competitive events. Baltimore inquires about a point-based system for exposure, and Yumi mentions a similar concept involving defeating enemies. The idea of a cross-world sports competition is proposed, and ship girls express interest. The following day, Ayanami's team showcases their version of competition in the gymnasium. Baltimore suggests showing them a sports day, and later, the shinobis express interest in adopting the ship girls' more normal approach to sports days after witnessing one in action. Asuka invites Akatsuki to climb a rock for training, while other ship girls comment on their activities. Kashino offers cold milk, and Homura speculates on Murasaki playing video games. In a secluded corner, Murasaki regrets going outside, encountering Leipzig and Hatsuharu. Torricelli startles them by revealing her presence. New Jersey joins, deducing that their reluctance to participate in exercises. She suggests a secluded area for those who prefer solitude, sparking interest. New Jersey brings Murasaki, Hatsuharu, Torricelli, and Leipzig to a secluded training area with mass-produced training ships and submarines. She encourages them to face non-people opponents to overcome their discomfort with groups. Despite the intense battle, they emerge victorious with New Jersey's assistance. The exhausted quartet is surprised by the number of foes they defeated. As others arrive to assist, New Jersey suggests more training, but the exhausted group opts for a swim. Murasaki reflects on the experience, appreciating New Jersey's care despite her hot-headed approach. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter for updates, and please check out my other videos covering the Azur Lane and Senran Kagura collaboration event.